Just for that question.
No, we can't. Once it stops, we can stop.
You don't do editing lah.
No, we do editing. It's just that it looks terrible when
Because of the jump.
there's a jump. Yes, because when you edit, we cut it off and then you try to match it. It doesn't blend anymore.
I see.
Because people can tell by the flow.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I can edit the front and the
I
back.
get distracted very easily by everything around me.
No, don't worry. Like I said, just look at me. You know.
Okay.
It's a conversation like having a cup of coffee. You know.
Okay. I'm really sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It happens. Hi, welcome to the National Critics' Choice Online News. Say the hi. My name is Robin Stienberg, and here I have my special guest, Otto Fong, who has just written his fourth book called The Fong Adventures. Now, Otto, welcome to our show.
Hi, Robin.
And I love what you do, and in his first book is full of surprises. In fact, it's come up with an app. So Fong, please show us what does your app look like.
Okay.
And so
I'm very proud of this. This is actually the app. It contains a book and 5 different science games in it. This is actually based on the first book of my entire series, which was published in 2008, and it's been very, very popular. It's been reprinted and reprinted, so I'm very proud of that. So now you get in the App Store this book in full colors, really brilliant full colors.
my gosh, amazing!
Yes.
And what can they do with it? Does it move and does it talk to you?
Oh, okay. Because this book series is based on science and based on the Singapore Science syllabus, there's a lot of science elements to it. It touches on, for book 1, it touches on the topic of atoms, elements, and compounds. So in this app, instead of just reading, you actually get really cool science games. So for example, you can actually construct your own atom.
Oh wow! It's so interactive.
Yeah, it really make full use of the new technology, and it allows even teachers. This particular game is available as a sample for teachers to use in classroom. So you can actually use it to construct elements.
Oh wow!
And
It's
the
really
students,
cool.
it's very
really-
interactive.
Huh.
And even if, say, the kid is not touching on the topic yet, maybe your kid is in primary school and he's a genius, he can just play this game and actually get ahead of his peers,
Wow!
even before he get into the classrooms.
Wow! Now that sounds like someone's going to get a good grade after that.
I'm really very proud of this.
Oh wow! And how long did it take you to do this?
The design of it is 1 whole year. I had
Wow.
to color the book because originally in the printed form, it is actually in black and white. So I had to color it, and also at the same time I have to come up with all the elements, the games.
Oh wow!
But of course I have a company construct everything and program everything for me.
Oh wow! And so this wonderful product, guys, is available at all good leading bookstores, Popular and Kinokuniya, and probably soon to be other bookstores, including MPH as well. By the way, Otto, tell us, what actually inspired you to come up with this series? What was it by accident, or because I understand you were a teacher at Raffles Institution.
Science
Yes.
teachers.
Oh wow! What actually caused the lightning bolt inspiration?
Well, I've always enjoyed drawing. I've always learned science by drawing in class and listening to the teacher. But what really got me started is actually my students when I became a teacher myself. My first batch of students was born in the year of the rabbit.
Oh okay.
Which inspired me to design the main character called Toto, which is a rabbit.
Toto, yeah.
So it represents everything I hope for in my students. In terms of education, it represents that what I didn't get when I was studying in school.
Wow. So you name your rabbit Toto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why Toto? Is it actually after you, or was it some inspiration?
Actually, Toto is just it's actually named after me. In fact, all the characters in every rabbit in there is either Toto or Dito or Watto.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
it's just fun.
Oh wow! Now, does Toto has any enemies? I mean, does he have villains?
Actually, in the new book, right, I'm beginning to understand that a book can be very, very enhanced. A story can be very enhanced if you have a really cool villain. It's sort of like Batman and Joker.
Oh, you do?
In the new book, there is a villain, and it's based on, say, for example, a very stereotypical civil servant kind of person who actually means very well, but whose single-mindedness tend to ignore a lot of warning signs in the search for success. Yeah, so it's a very Southeast Asian kind of villain that Toto have to deal with in this book.
Oh wow! So guys, please look out for this fourth book, Sir Fong's Adventures, and he does have a villain. And does this villain have a name?
Her name is Miss Eli Gunn.
Eli Gunn. Wow, sounds like
She's a very elegant kind of person.
really wow. Rabbits versus pretty women. Okay, I must say it's quite impressive. And so, why do you choose a woman? Why not a man for a villain?
Whenever I choose a character, in fact, in the last 3 books, I have been very conscious about choice of characters. The last 3 books, there are science characters and scientists in there, which I deliberately chose from great diversity. I deliberately chose female scientists. I chose Muslim scientists. I chose people from all walks of life. I even have a makeup artist using science. So I try to choose from a great diversity, and of course, choosing a female villain tend to have its strength because I believe there's a lot of women who are very strong and powerful now, and of course, obviously there are stereotypes, but at the same time. To be fair, why shouldn't we choose a female villain? I mean, they can be as smart and as talented as a man, but at the same time, they have the same potential for going the wrong way as a man.
Oh wow! Now someone once wrote to me and asked me, do you have any gay character in this book?
Not yet, although there is a scientist that I've been thinking about featuring, and that's Alan Turing. Alan Turing is actually the father of modern computing. He was the one who deciphered the Enigma code during the World War II.
Oh wow!
And because he's gay, he was actually persecuted and forced to take chemicals to castrate himself.
Oh wow!
So in the end, he actually committed suicide. But now that's a very, very heavy topic, and it's also a very sensitive topic. So I haven't reached the maturity whereby I can cover it in a way that is fair to my readers, because my readers are actually primary school students and lower secondary school students. So I have to be very careful about what I say to them, because it is a responsibility that's going to follow me for the rest of my life. So I haven't found a way to cover that yet. So essentially, Toto the bunny and every kid in there are actually just prepubescent kids. So therefore, the issue of homosexuality or sexuality is just not important to them.
Oh, okay. Now about your book, Sir Fong, was there any mentors that actually assist you in creating these characters and make it one of the most successful series today?
Okay. In terms of the creation of characters, I must say that I'm inspired, as every comic artist is inspired by their own childhood favorite comic artist. So in terms of Toto, I'm actually inspired by Doraemon. So if you look at the design of the rabbit and Doraemon, there is a lot of similarities. I'm also inspired by Lat, a Malaysian comic artist, and if you look at some of the characters in the book, the nose of it is actually a Lat nose.
Really?
It's very, very unique. But the person that I must really thank in terms of guiding me towards a successful brand is actually the creator of Mr. Kiasu, Mr. Johnny Lau. So I managed to meet up with him when I was creating this series, and every year we would meet up, and he would give me a lot of very useful advice.
Really? Is he still alive today?
Mr. Johnny Lau?
Yeah.
He's alive and well, and he's actually quite young actually.
Oh really?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe he's working on an animation
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he's keeping himself busy, but at the same time, I think he's lecturing at NTU.
Okay.
Yeah, so-
are you going to be part of his project too soon, or?
I am actually. I am part of his project because he helped me see what are some of the pitfalls that I should avoid. Like, for example, making sure that the character of Toto is trademarked, even though that costs some money. But he pointed out that it is worth every cent.
Oh wow, and you did.
Yes, I did.
Oh, well, folks, please do not copy Toto.
Protected
if
by
you
very
do,
good lawyers.
I don't want to say. He's a cute rabbit, actually. Anyway, back to the subject. Back to Toto. And the art. Now, you hand drawn all the characters yourself.
Mm-hmm.
For what I understand from you, and now. Are you against technology? Because these days people use the computers to draw the characters and all that, other than the usual conventional hand-drawn pencil and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the advantage between these two available sources? And are you for it or against it, or what's the take?
Okay. In terms of like for or against, right? I really believe that there is no absolute good or absolute bad in technology. A technology is simply, for example, a hammer. You can use it to build a house, or you can use it to bash someone's skulls in. So for me, a technology is, as long as it can provide something different and bring something different to the table, I am willing to give up what I used to know in the past, the skills that I've learned, and then pick up something new. So in terms of drawing traditionally, of course, there's this beauty in the touch between the pen tip and the paper. It's just you can actually hear the sound of it, and it's just beautiful. It's music by itself, and I understand why some artists wouldn't give it up. But for me, since I never had much of a traditional training, picking a computer pen and drawing through the computer is not that difficult. Although I must say it has a lot of challenges because it doesn't have that sound yet. But just because it doesn't have that sound yet doesn't mean that it doesn't have the sound of its own that I haven't started hearing. So in terms of technology, I have no for or against. However, I must say, for example, in generating this app, technology has helped me a lot because a lot of the images produced by technology are easily transferable from the traditional book. But actually, these are all drawn in the computer, and they are easily transferable to the computer, and it makes life much easier since a lot of these things are generated by myself, and I don't have an army of cartoonists helping me out. Like for example, in Japan or in America, where they have whole workshop or factory of people who can do all the various steps. But in Southeast Asia, we are not that strong in terms of comics and the different processes. So a lot of times we have to end up doing everything ourselves. So in terms of that, the computer is a big help. And I see the computer is, just basically Batman and his Batmobile. You can't fight crime using your bare fist alone.
And speaking about bare fist, doesn't it mean that the artist may lose his touch in his craft, because hand drawn, you have to be consistent, on a daily basis to perfect your skill.
Yes.
Aren't you afraid of that?
No, I'm not actually, because sometimes when the computer tend not to draw exactly the way you want it, there are surprises for the artist himself. And those surprises, maybe you don't have full control of the line sometimes, but those surprises are not necessarily bad surprises. Those surprises are things that keeps you on your feet. You'll never know exactly where the line will land, and it keeps things fresh. And sometimes when I experiment with all the different tools, I'm actually pleasantly surprised that I'm able to create a certain effect. So no, to me technology is just a different beast that I have to get used to, and eventually, if I put in enough hard work, I will love it.
Wow. Okay.
And I really do love it now. It's been about 5 years of drawing in the computer, and I must say the first 2 years was a real struggle.
Now, speaking about struggle with the characters, especially. Now, is there any one character that that you're willing to give up, you know, or and why? Is there any one character in your series so far?
Give up?
Yeah, like have that character eliminated from your series.
Ah, okay. That goes back to the age-old little trick in comic and cartoon animation. Nobody ever dies. So
Really?
Yeah. I mean, by now everyone should know that if you kill off Superman, if you kill off Batman, they'll just come back to life again. You can't kill off comic characters; they are immortal.
Oh, really?
So to say that I give up something, it just means that I am willing to let it go and create new ones, and give space for the new ones. And then when the old one has something new to offer, I'll bring him back.
Okay, so another question for you then. It could be a very tough one. Have you any imaginations, about having dinner or lunch with your character, especially this guy here, the rabbit himself? Would you ever dine with your character, and what would you dine with him for?
That's actually not a tough question, but a very good question. I always see every cartoon creation as my son, daughter, children. So if I ever dine with them, I hope to be able to tell them that I've done the best I can to bring them up, just like how a father would bring up his son and daughter, and that I hope that he has a life of his own, and if I've done the right job, he has a life of his own, and he can take care of himself in the future.
And have you done the right thing for these characters so far?
Like parenting, you never know, but you try your best and hope it works out.
Okay, so what's next for your character right here after this series?
Wow. This is the fourth book.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
I fully intend to continue on in the series, because you don't really have a series until you have about 7 or 8 books. So in the nearest future, I think minimum I must have at least 7 or 8 books.
Okay. But what's next for your character?
It's quite easy. I mean, those are the published one. This is actually what's gonna happen next, because I'm gonna take every book and then translate it into the App Store. So every book will have its own app with its own science games.
And new adventures as well.
The new adventures will be in the published form.
Okay.
And once the feedback comes back, I can actually modify it for the app. And the app is good because it is available internationally. And in terms of, I think, copyright, I think the App Store does a very good job of copywriting and protecting the artist.
Oh wow.
Which is part of the reason why I put it out as an app.
Now you went into the technology of apps, e-books, and of course print. Now, today's technology and its available formats, are you against e-books versus conventional print? Or shall I rephrase it? Is conventional print going out of business and e-books becoming a more popular formats? And why you choose to publish your books in e-book as well?
Okay. I don't think the conventional print will ever fully go out, except that instead of being the mass market powerhouse that it used to be, it will probably become a niche. It has its own niche readers who totally love flipping a physical book and owning a huge big a bookshelf. But they may actually end up being the high-end kind of readers who can afford big apartments and large storage spaces for their books, because as you can see, our living spaces are shrinking, and that's been predicted in all sci-fi movies, because there's so much population, the rooms are getting smaller. Where are we going to put all the physical books? And besides, the physical book takes a lot of trees to make, and that's not environmentally friendly. So that's part of the reason why I go into ebooks. And of course, the good thing about ebooks is I can reach out to the international audience. So that means I'm actually drawing for an international audience. So I can actually raise my bar in terms of creating stories, characters, So I won't be limited by a region. Although of course I will always be drawing for Southeast Asia, Singapore, because this is the place that I know best. So I don't think the published form will actually disappear totally, but it may become a very quiet taste. It's just like graphic novels. I don't think it actually got hugely popular. Most people just prefer to go to the movies and watch the movie. Then most people are still not reading comics.
Well said. No, now, so Fong, if I may call you so Fong,
Please do.
Now, how did you able to accomplish so much in such a in a very short time? Since 2008, with 4 volumes, it's now the bestseller. Is there any advice that would you give for aspiring artists who would like to pursue in this career? Would you give, like, say, 3 points?
Okay. First of all, you really, I think in terms of passion, if you know you can draw and you love to draw from a young age, you should just do it instead of wait for the right moment to do it. You should just keep drawing and you should never stop. You should pursue it, and I'm still on the first point. You should pursue it like you pursue the hottest woman or man in your life that you want forever. And if you neglect that person, neglect that passion, it will neglect you. And
Really?
I believe so, because I have turned my back against drawing comics in the past because I felt that it's not a viable career in Singapore. And for 10 years I didn't draw, and something was missing from my life. It's only when I rediscovered that passion that I realized that it is actually the thing that I wanted the most. So that's point 1. Yeah, point 2 is I believe you really have to go into it for the love of it. If you intend to make a lot of money and be filthy rich like the creator of Garfield or Doraemon, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. And if you measure your success by the amount of money that you bring in, then you're in it for the wrong reason, because you can always make more money elsewhere. You can easily make more money elsewhere. So you have to go into it because you love it, and it's something that you would be proud of in your old age, looking back, and that you have contributed in a way that you have made full use of your how to say, God-given skills and talents, and you have not neglected it. Okay, so that's second.
Oh wow! And what's your third?
The third is to find something that you're really, really in love and passionate about to draw. So in this case, I have grown up and loved science fiction and comics and sci-fi characters. So that's where I'm going in. I'm not drawing this thing because I feel that it's very sellable. If I say, for example, what a bigger market, I can draw ghosts. That will sell very well. Freak the hell out of everyone, and they have a good time. But it's not me. You just have to draw what you love instead of drawing what you feel that the market wants. So I think that all those are very important. And believe it or not, I think if you pursue that, then success will come as an incidental thing, rather than the ends to the means and everything. So those are the 3 things that I would give.
Before we end, what's the philosophy, of art to you, especially when it comes to comic books, and what's the philosophy?
Art.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was trained as an engineer, and I dare say, and of course I've been drawing as an artist, and I dare say actually the approach are basically the same. You do what you love, and I can't articulate what is my philosophy behind doing it. It's just that it's something that compels me to. I still don't understand why it compels me to, but I may just be following a program like in the Matrix. I may just be a program, and it gives me infinite satisfaction to be doing what I'm doing. Okay, so there is no philosophy behind it for me. I just love drawing, and I just love it when people see what I draw and get excited by it. Yeah, I couldn't really think too deep about that. Because once you're happy, you don't think already.
Wow, wow. No, and speaking about happy, thank you for joining us here at the National Critics' Choice Hyatt. I'm Robin Stienberg, and please don't forget to get hold of his book, So Fong Adventures Volume 4, as well as his apps. And can anyone reach you at your Facebook or something like that?
Oh yeah, you can. There is a Sir Fong Facebook. Then you just have to search Sir Fong. You can also. There's a blogspot that's called sirfong.blogspot. That's easy to remember too. And there is a website called autoniumcomics.com.
Well, there you go. I'm Robin Stienberg. Thank you for joining me here at the National Critics' Choice Hyatt.
Thank you.
So
This